The Chicago Bears are looking at a pivotal offseason. We've all seen the kind of impact a strong offensive line can have, especially when watching teams like the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs dominate their respective championships. It's no secret that Chicago has a glaring weakness up front, and fixing that needs to be at the top of their priority list if they want to get to the next level. So, how much will it cost to fix the Chicago Bears offensive line? Well, that's what we're here to dive into today. Let's start with the good news. The Bears already have two solid bookends on the offensive line. Tevin Jenkins at right guard has shown he can be a force, and Braxton Jones, despite some struggles, has shown flashes at left tackle. But here's the thing. The Bears need more than just a couple of good pieces. They need a whole new attitude up front, and that's going to require a good bit of cash. Now, before we go too deep into the money side of things, let's talk about what the Bears are working with in terms of resources. Chicago has a hefty $64 million in salary cap space as of January 2025. That's not just good, it's great. It's enough to make some real moves this offseason and shore up the trenches without gutting the rest of the roster. But the question remains, where do they allocate that money? To answer that, let's break it down into three major steps. First things first, let's talk about the center position. The Bears have struggled with consistency in the middle of the offensive line for years. From Cody Whitehair's decline to the struggles of Sam Mustipher, Lucas Patrick's injuries, and Coleman Shelton's mediocre play, the Bears haven't had stability here in a long time. This is where the Bears need to spend big. So, one name that keeps coming up is Drew Dalman from the Atlanta Falcons. The 26-year-old has 57 games of experience, and according to Pro Football Focus, Dalman's run blocking grades are solid, though his pass blocking leaves a little to be desired. Still, for a team looking to make a quick improvement, he could be a solid option. Dalman's projected 4-year contract is set to be worth around $46 million, with $27 million in guaranteed money. That's a pretty standard deal for a center of his caliber. It might seem like a lot, but if the Bears want to stabilize the middle of their offensive line, they're going to need to make this kind of investment. If Dalman is the guy, he'll be a cornerstone for the next few years, and for a team like the Bears, that kind of continuity is key. Now let's shift our focus to the guard spots. Here's the reality. The Bears need to upgrade at both guard positions. The depth just isn't there, and there's no clear starter at either spot. This is where Ryan Poles can really make his mark this offseason. One name at the top of the list is Trey Smith, the right guard for the Kansas City Chiefs. Smith is one of the best at his position, and if he hits free agency, the Bears need to be all over it. PFF has him pegged for a 4-year deal worth $82 million with $50 million in guarantees. That's a big investment, but it's one that could pay huge dividends. On the other hand, the Bears could look for a more affordable option, especially considering how many quality guards are set to hit the market. One guy who stands out is Will Freeze from the Indianapolis Colts. Freeze is only 26 years old, and while he's not a superstar, he's solid. He's projected to get a 4-year deal worth around $57 million with $30 million in guarantees. Yeah, he could provide an affordable yet steady presence in the middle. If the Bears don't land Smith, they'll need to look at a mix of veterans and younger players with potential. Kevin Zeitler, a seasoned veteran with the New York Giants, could be an option, but he's 34 and his best days are behind him. It's more of a 1-year deal to provide leadership and stability. On the flip side, Aaron Banks from the San Francisco 49ers is another interesting name. But Banks is young at just 27 years old and has been solid for the 49ers. He's projected to get a 3-year, $25 million deal with $15 million guaranteed. Let's talk about the left tackle position. Braxton Jones had a rough season in 2024. Sure, there were flashes of promise, but overall, it's clear the Bears could upgrade here. And considering that Jones suffered a season-ending injury in Week 16 against the Detroit Lions, the team needs to prepare for the possibility that he might not be ready for training camp. This is where the Bears could look for a bridge solution. Ronnie Stanley of the Baltimore Ravens is an intriguing name. Stanley is still one of the better left tackles in the league, but injuries have slowed him down in recent years. He's projected to get a 2-year, $40 million deal with $27 million in guarantees. If the Bears decide they can't rely on Jones to be the long-term answer, bringing in a veteran like Stanley could be a smart move. Another option could be Cam Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Robinson is solid, but not spectacular. He's expected to get a 3-year, $56 million deal with $35 million guaranteed. If the Bears want to shore up the left tackle position and give Jones a little more time to develop, this could be a good option. But don't forget, the Bears could also look at post-hype sleepers. A guy like Jedrick Wills from the Cleveland Browns could be a steal. Wills is still young and has a lot of potential, but his future with the Browns is uncertain. If the Bears can get him on a 1-year, $3 million deal, it could be a great low-risk, high-reward move. So, what are we looking at in terms of total cost? If the Bears target Dalman at center, Trey Smith at guard, and either Stanley or Robinson at left tackle, we're looking at a significant investment. Dalman's $46 million deal, Smith's $82 million deal, and Stanley's $40 million deal would put the Bears' total investment in these three positions alone at around $168 million. The big chunk of their available cap space, but it's worth it. If the Bears can shore up the offensive line with experienced, talented players, it will make a world of difference for their offense. No more worrying about a weak front that fails to protect their quarterback or open up holes in the running game. With a revamped offensive line, Justin Fields will have more time to make plays, and the running backs will have more opportunities to explode. But here's the thing, the Bears aren't just going to stop with free agency. They're also going to look to the draft to find long-term solutions. With the 10th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, they could look at a tackle or guard who can step in right away and contribute. Even if they sign veterans, adding young, high-upside players through the draft is key to building a sustainable offensive line. The Bears are sitting on a significant amount of cap space this offseason, and if they want to make a serious run in 2025, they need to fix that offensive line. Whether it's bringing in a new center like Drew Dalman, a top-tier guard like Trey Smith, or a veteran left tackle like Ronnie Stanley, it's clear that Chicago has the opportunity to make a big splash in free agency. At the end of the day, the cost to fix the offensive line could be upwards of $150 million. But if the Bears want to protect their future franchise quarterback and create a balanced offense, it's money well spent.